in about... Right now, we're going to get started. All right, so the new agent is Killjoy. Let's get started on reading some of these abilities. I figured that'd be a good place to start. The very first one is Alarm Bot, right? Which I have a video of that, so I'll pull that up after we read the description. Alarm Bot, it says, equip and deploy a bot that hunts down enemies who dare to get in range. When my killer robot friend reaches its target, boom goes the idiot. That's the description. Alarm Bot not only deals damage, it temporarily leaves affected players vulnerable to double damage from all sources. That's huge. Hold equip if you want to recall it. That's huge as well. A lot of abilities like raises boom bot and stuff you can't pick back up. So if you put it down and you kind of wasted it, then you're kind of out of luck, right? But with his abilities, it looks like he can pick up almost all of his or her abilities. Okay, so we're gonna watch it through and then we'll rewind it back. But here we go. This is Alarm Bot. Holy cow! Okay, so this bot, you place it down on the ground and watch this. He activates get all comfortable and then he turns purple like this, which leads me to think it turns invisible. Which is perfect, which I want that to happen, because if it's just this big bulky purple thing out in the open, it's going to be the easiest thing in the world to spot and kill. And then it jumps and latches on, right? And it supposedly does damage when it latches on. And while it's latched on, that person takes double damage from all sources. He shoots him one time and kills him. And how much damage does it do? Let's take a look here. 26 damage. So double that, that's 52. 52 damage. So that means that bot, and I think for these examples they show him with 100 health, that means it at a minimum does 50 damage when it attaches to you. Oh!
This is big brain time.
Omens love to cast a smoke, walk into their own smoke, and then teleport out of it behind you. As soon as an Omen casts a smoke directly in front of you, just throw it down in the center, and he won't be able to walk in to warp out. It'll latch onto him, in which case it'll be easy to just spam through it and kill him. That's huge counterplay to that kind of stuff. Same thing with Phoenix. The big thing about Phoenix is Phoenix can walk into a smoke and then flash out of the smoke and then move out of the smoke himself and clear it. But if you have that in there, that allows for a lot of counterplay on the smoke. That's big. I like that. That's really big. I love that move. Very, very much. Let's watch that one more time. And then let's move on to the next ability. Yeah, it's just called Turret. So, alright. Sometimes it's good to plant some roots. Deploy a turret that fires at enemies within its 180-degree cone. Hold equip to recall the deployed turret. Just like Alarm Bot can recall the turret, right? So let's watch it all the way through. The turret doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, definitely not. And I've noticed something that a lot of people who were complaining about it didn't notice. And I'm excited to tell you guys about it. The person selects a turret, places it down. It takes 3 full seconds to activate, and it's so loud. That's super easy to hear, so you can't just place that down willy-nilly. You'll have to put that down before the round. Hopefully it'll allow you to put it down before the round. You might have to wait till the round starts, like a lot of abilities, in which case there's no way to stealthily put it down unless no one's around to hear it. And then it picked it back up after it was used. That's big. I didn't notice that one before until watching it just now. So that's one where you can pick it up, place it down, pick it up, place it down, like take it with you wherever you go. That's awesome. Now, this is why I don't think this is going to be a big deal. There's one thing that sucks about this turret that's like really, really crappy. It's weak. It is so weak. Holy crap. Let's take a look at this. 2 3-round bursts. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then 3 from himself. So if we go into Valorant really quick, So how much damage does 3 shots to the chest do? Was that like 78? 78 damage at about this distance? 78 damage. With 3 shots, you do 78 damage with the classic. The turret shot the person 6 times. This leads to two things. One, either each shot does. So if they only have 100 health, you do 1, 2, 3 to kill. All right, so let's do. There's 52 for 2 shots. And if they only have 100 health, that's 48. So it has to do less than 48 damage in 6 shots. That's like 5 damage a shot. 15 damage for getting hit with a 3-round burst? That turret has to be like long range or something. The only thing that'll be useful for is getting information, or so like if you're holding an angle and you don't have somebody watching your back, you could put the turret there to warn you if somebody comes around the corner, it'll start shooting at them. Or, you know, God, it's just making somebody freak out and turn to shoot the other angle. There's really like the turret is so bad. It's not going to get you kills unless you're really, really lucky, or you get somebody down, you shoot them to 142 health with the Phantom or something, and they're just barely alive, and they go to defuse the bomb and happen to walk right in the path of the turret. Man, there's going to be some hilarious turret plays, I'm sure, and there's going to be some big moments with it, but you cannot rely on that. That's the thing that's what I'm calling out right now. You can't rely on the turret to get you kills. We have 2 more abilities to go over, and then we'll talk a couple strategies and stuff like that. Nano Swarm, and the description says, okay, check this out. Throw the grenade. When it lands, it goes quiet. Then activate Nano Swarm to deploy a damaging swarm of nanobots and catch the enemy crying. I love this trick. So let's watch the video through. That's a lot of damage! That time to kill is quick. Okay, so pulls up the wrist computer thing, pulls out this Dr. Mario pill, throws the pill down, and it activates and leaves this little red marker. Kind of reminds me of Cypher's cages. And it doesn't activate until you hold down or you click on the button while you're facing it. We'll see if you can activate it through walls. If you can, this is going to be... wow. Hopefully you can shoot and destroy this thing. Let's count time to kill. 2 seconds, or a little over 2 seconds to kill. So if this person has 100 health, that's 50 damage a second. It's basically a grenade that you can activate whenever you want, wherever you want. That is going to stall the bomb. Bomb plants, bomb diffuses. That's like a once a turn orbital strike, right? You don't have to build up 7 ult points to get it now. You just simply have it at the start of each round. That's going to be the big kicker on attack. It lasts for a solid like 5 seconds. That's more than enough time to like stall the bomb until it starts its last final countdown, which it's at 10 seconds when there's 10 seconds left on the clock, which means that the opponent has 2.5 to 3 seconds to start defusing. So if you use this right before that timer starts ticking down at its fastest rate, you'll stall it long enough to where even when it's done, they can't run up and defuse it. So essentially, you only have to stall the bomb for 35 seconds, or less than that, technically, like 33 seconds. I mean, unless you can destroy this thing by shooting it, this is going to be the most annoying move. I'm calling it right now. Way more annoying than the turret, way more annoying than the boombot wannabe. Oh, no more will you cluster grenade slow. Now you're going to be Nano Swarm slowing. Nano slowing. All right, let's read up on this last move, the ultimate. It's called Lockdown. You'll have to adjust your timing for the windup, but once you get this device going, it detains all enemies caught in its radius for 8 seconds. Yeah, enemies can destroy it, except I built plenty more. It's huge. You can't... Is that the radius of it? You're at mid. Holy... That can stop an entire bomb site. And more than just the bomb planting site, like the entire site. I mean, and it goes through walls. It can be placed on any height, and it'll affect any other height. Like this controls the... It takes like 12 seconds to activate, and it can be destroyed, but there's tons of places you can put it that'll completely hide it. Not to mention, if you put it down, you can put a sage wall up to protect it for a little bit longer. Okay, so once it activates, this person's on lockdown for 8 seconds. They cannot shoot, they can hardly move, and then they pull out their gun. So if they have an op or something, it'll take even longer. From what I can see right now, the things that Killjoy can do really well, Killjoy can do the best, but can't escape if they get under fire. Can't. You're gonna have to be a mastermind with these abilities. By the way, I think this character is gonna be a sentinel. Next, we're gonna talk attack and defense. Let's start with defense, since that's clearly what this character is targeted towards, is defensive play. Let's compare him to Cypher. This character has absolutely no smokes, has absolutely no flash, has absolutely no dash or mobile aspect to them. So if you are caught slacking as Killjoy, you will be demolished. Sova has nothing. Basically, if you're a Sova main, you're not going to feel too out of place playing this character because you won't have any way to escape. So that's the big weakness. That's what we have to target, the mobility aspect. You need to be able to get through. So I think Jet is going to be a relatively good counter to Killjoy, getting right up in Killjoy's face. Same thing with Raze, because you can get up over. I think Raze is going to be a pretty big counter actually, because of abilities. Can break all of Killjoy's abilities as far as we know. So that's pretty nice. Especially as a Raze main myself. Okay, so defensive wise, Alarm Bot's really good paired with the smoke, because they won't be able to see it until it's too late, and as soon as it activates, you know exactly where they are and you can spray through that smoke and kill them. Not to mention they take double damage, so as a Raze you can throw Satchel, you can throw Viper, Poison, whatever. It's going to be really hard if you get caught by an Alarm Bot to escape still alive. And it's not like Cypher's Trapwire, where it notifies you and you get close and it kind of buzzes and reveals itself. Okay, so that would be really good paired with smokes. I think that's going to be the best thing about it. I think it'll also be really good paired with walls, like Viper's wall and Phoenix's wall. It should activate at any height, so you might want to put it up here, right up here on this little ledge, and then put a misplaced wall right here, which will guide them to walk through this section right into it. Let's talk about the next ability though. This, oh god, the turret's not going to be nearly as exciting to use. Yeah, the turret's really going to be for watching your back, just to notify people when it's there, catching people off guard, maybe doing 10-15 damage to them. Another reason I could consider it useful is, like, say you have a Viper put down a wall and you're watching the left side of the wall, you can put the turret on the right side of the wall. That way, if they push into the right side, the turret hits them, and then you know where to shoot, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, the turret's just weak. People are so worried about it. I mean, unless this thing has 500 health, it's not going to be an issue to break down. It's not going to be an issue to blow up. And it's stationary. The only thing that makes it good for Killjoy is that Killjoy can pick it up even after it's been used. That, I actually really love that. That's awesome. Defensive capabilities are strong with this one. Paired with a Cypher Trap, that's big. That's really big. As soon as that Cypher Trap gets shot or it gets activated because the person's walking through it, you activate this thing. And they have 2 seconds to leave it to shoot the Cypher Trap and walk out before they die. That is going to be the move. I'm telling you. That's going to be good to block off certain areas like Cat. If you can somehow get a wall up behind them or make it so they can't move behind. Like say they're coming up long here on A. and then you throw a grenade behind them. They can't move back, and then you activate this thing. The only way is to push in and get clapped, or to stay and get clapped, or to retreat and get clapped. There's no other way around it. That uses 2 of the strongest utility you have on a team, but I mean, if you hear a full push A, especially in like lower ranks, that's a good counterplay. But I think where this really comes into play is on attack after you've planted the bomb, stalling that bomb defuse. But it really all depends on if you have to be in a line of sight to activate it or not. See, all these little questions we can't answer, and we can't truly know how powerful it is until we sit down and play with it. Okay, and let's quickly talk about defensive capabilities of that. That can stall a bomb site. If they're pushing onto the site, think of it kind of like Viper's ultimate. If somebody's about to push onto a site and you pop Viper's ult, they're more likely going to be like, all right, let's just leave and go to the other bomb site because Viper's tied here, you know? But in this particular case, if you can hide it well and protect it well, they're not going to want to come on because they have like roughly 12 seconds to find it and kill you. Otherwise, they're all trapped for 8 whole seconds, which is just an easy win for your team if they push on site and all of them get trapped. I mean, you just one tap each of them back and forth and you're good to go. There's no pushing on site with this thing. Unless you have a Raze who is really good at off angles, or a Brimstone who can shoot his molly well and breaks it that way. Okay, let's take a look at attack now. Attack, obviously the big move is going to be his E ability, he or she's E ability, Nano Swarm, the grenade. That thing is ridiculous. So before they can even break it, you can pop this thing, you can kill people who are hiding in corners, who are hiding out. That's going to be huge for flushing out enemies, and that's one of those abilities, kind of like Raze's grenade, where it's like if it popped off on that corner, the person cannot survive. So either they're dead or they are not there, and so you don't even have to check it as you push onto a site. The only way I can imagine Alarm Bot's going to be useful on attack specifically is by putting it on a flank after you've already taken a site, or putting it on the flank behind you so all 5 of you can attentively push into a site together instead of leaving one person back to watch flank while 4 people push onto a site. It'll be good, like, because a lot of times Brimstone will smoke off 3 points or 2 points and then you'll push onto a site. If you and your Brimstone are tight, you can talk to each other and have her place down a second smoke when the first one's about to disappear, and then throw Alarm Bot up onto that. That way, when the people try and push through the smoke, they get hit by the Alarm Bot, and that's an easy pick. But ultimately, this is not going to be useful unless you're already where you want to be. So, if we're I wonder how much these moves cost, but if we're thinking first round and you're on attack, I would not purchase this ability. Moving on to turret, though. Turret may be useful. It at least will have better range than the Alarm Bot, and you can also use it to watch flank, and you can also use it to alert yourself of enemies. You can also use it to just help you get kills or distract. If an enemy pushes onto a site and they're getting shot at by you and the bot, they're going to try and fall back and kill the bot and then push in and kill you, which gives you plenty of time to kill them or reposition. Also, the ultimate on attack, that's going to be big to push onto a site with, especially if your teammates are not affected by this. If your teammates are not affected by this, you can basically clear out a site with it. Easy push onto a site. I mean, imagine trying to push onto a site and B site is completely locked down by a Cypher and A site is completely locked down by Killjoy. And then you got like a Viper at mid who has like practically infinite smokes. I mean, especially if the Viper ults at mid or something, you have nowhere to go. You're gonna have to play in an unfavorable position somewhere, somehow. Who do I think this character will sub in, taking place? My initial thought was Cypher, right? because the abilities and the defensive capabilities are so similar. But Cypher had like a 92% pick rate in the last tournament, pro tournament. And like I said before, Cypher is the #1 S tier agent for team use. I honestly believe that Cypher's going to stay in. Oh man, that's going to be tough. But I think either Sage or the Duelist. I think those are the two most likely, because you cannot get rid of smokes because of op play. But if they're getting rid of a Duelist and playing Killjoy instead, there's going to be less op play because there's going to be less Jets, mobile characters like that. So we'll see, but that's my take on it. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be really interesting to watch this video back and see how accurate my prediction is, or inaccurate it is, right? But I mean, I've been calling all the right shots. Like you watched the tier list video as I was filming it. I talked about how important Cypher was and what happens in this most recent tournament. 92% pick rate, highest pick rate. There was only like 1 game or 2 games where the Cypher wasn't picked. But I mean, op play is so powerful. It's gonna be interesting. I think Sage will be the one to go, or maybe Sova. I don't know. We'll see. It's so hard to choose. And we're gonna see a lot of insane plays, especially from an agent this powerful.